Hello everybody and welcome to this new webinar. I'm Manu Lucio and here with me is Carlos Asba as well.
Hello.
Today we are going to explain all the new features implemented for the TeamCity integration. You will learn how to configure TeamCity to monitor Plastic SCM branches and automatically merge them to main where certain conditions are met. For example, when an attribute is set or when the connected Jira task is done. Notice we will be using Jira, but nothing prevents you from using another one. It can be easily configured. In case you didn't attend to the previous webinar on DevOps, it's worthwhile that you know we are in the middle of a big DevOps initiative. We were always adamant that branch per task was the way to go, and we tried to make it shine in plastic. But we realized recently, to make it really great, a lot of automation was required. What I mean is that just monitoring the main branch for changes is no longer enough, like it was when it was proposed 20 years ago, back in the Subversion days. Today, you need to test every single task branch before you merge it. This was pretty natural for us because we have our own continuous integration system. But we realized many Plastic SCM users had to tweak their CIs to achieve the same thing. So, out of the box, everything we love about task branches was simply out of sight for many teams. We developed plugins for the major CI systems, but they are not so much into testing every branch like we would like to. Yes, it is possible to do it nowadays because they have the logic to monitor new branches, but always in a very Git-like mindset, where as soon as a branch shows up, it gets built and tested. This doesn't make sense for Plastic. The reason? Well, if you are working on a central server, you can check in multiple times to the branch before it is finished. Merging each check-in to main wouldn't make any sense. What we released for Bamboo first and now for TeamCity is the ability to control when a branch is ready to be built and merged. The common practice is to only build, test and merge the branch when it has a certain attribute set and or when its associated task in Jira or wherever has a given status. These changes are basically what we implemented in TeamCity, and now we are about to explain it. The first thing is to configure the BCS route. So let's jump into TeamCity.
Yeah, let's go to the TeamCity web panel.
We already have it configured, and this is basically what you need to really do.
Yeah.
First thing is selecting the Plastic SCM plugin as the version control provider. This is quite obvious. Then you have to choose the right server, Plastic SCM server and repository. For us, the Plastic SCM server is the desktop 8087 and the repository name is Pixel. Notice that you have to type them correctly, otherwise it won't work. Then you need to specify the branches TeamCity will monitor. Use this expression to monitor everything under main, the main branch. Then we have the new branch filtering attributes. As I mentioned before, a branch must have the status attribute set to resolve before it will be merged. This section also includes the attributes to set if the build fails, succeeds, and when the merge was done. Now you will need to edit the build configuration and do the following. Let's jump into the TeamCity build configuration.
Let's go to this build configuration, edit settings.
You need to go to the build features and add a new one.
Settings, right? Build features, okay.
So we already have it. You will need to add a new build feature and configure it to do the automatic merge, which is the key for the entire process. set the branch filter to this value so that TeamCity merge all the branches that match the filter and leave the other fields with the default values. The branches will be merged and checked into the default track branch, in this case the main branch. Now in the build configuration as well, go to the trigger section to add a new BCS trigger. All you have to do is to set the branch filter to this value.
Yep.
Perfect. So far I described basic filtering. Only Plastic SCM branches with a certain attribute are considered for build and merge. But what if you need to ensure the associated task in the issue tracker system has a specific status too, or maybe any other more advanced configuration? Well, since we consider this to be a possibility, we introduced a way to implement custom branch filtering by running an external program and implementing a very simple communication protocol. For that, you will need to go back to the BCS root,
root again, and
edit the configuration.
Edit the configuration, and below you can configure those advanced features.
Yes. First, you need to, basically what we say, go back to the BCS root configuration in TeamCity and specify any program you want and to use, and then pass arguments to it in a key value pair. Here you can see we are using a Java tool that is called Java Branch Filter. This tool, by the way, is open source. You have it in GitHub. We develop and is in charge of determining if the task, the Jira task, is completed or not. And you can see the pairs k value you have below. Basically, you can see the configuration we are using for the testing account of Jira, and this is something you will need to connect to the Jira system. This program receives a JSON list of branches to filter from the std-in and returns a list with the actual branches that you want TeamCity to process in the std-out, also in a JSON format. So basically, this is all the configuration you need in order to get TeamCity be working with both Plastic and Jira. Now, I think, Carlos, you are going to be showing us how all this works from the Plastic SCM point of view.
Yeah, let's start with our demonstration in a real scenario. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to create a new Jira task. Okay, I've already opened here our Jira panel. Create a new task, for instance, fix core issue. I'm going to include some description. Okay, and also I'm going to assign the issue
directly to yourself and create it. That's all the information we need so far.
Yeah.
And a new issue has been created. Now, you jump into Plastic.
We are going to create a new branch task in Plastic. Just right click, create child branch, and now Plastic is able to list all the tasks from the issue tracker from Jira.
Assign it to the developer?
Yeah, by default only assigning to me. And I'm going to select the new one, fix core issue, and also I'm going to mark as open in the issue tracker. I click OK.
Yeah. And from the house icon you can tell that you are already working on the child branch.
Yeah, it's also cool in Plastic. From the branch explorer, you are able to see directly the information from Jira.
Yeah.
You can see in the branch name the Jira issue, and also in this panel you can see more details like the status, description, and everything.
Yeah, actually, if you double click it,
yeah, if I
you will be able to open it in the browser.
Yeah.
We will be using this later in order to set the Jira task as complete or done.
Okay, so now it's time to create some changes in this branch. Okay, I'm going to modify one file. For instance, this
boot file.
Yeah, this JavaScript.
And now open it Sublime.
Okay, I'm going to, for instance, edit this value to 601. I'm going to save, and I'm going to commit the changes. I click on check-in.
So now this information is being stored in both the Plastic SCM repository and also at the Jira task.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the Jira task, we should be able to see this information from here as well.
Yeah, you can see here in this panel all the change set and the information involved in the change and the file I've modified, the comment, and
the file change.
Yeah,
perfect.
Okay, now if we switch back to Plastic, to the Branch Explorer, we are going to edit the attribute of this branch, right?
Yeah, you remember that TeamCity is monitoring all the branches that are having a certain attribute set to resolve. You can do it manually by adding the attribute as Carlos is doing, or
we can do it directly from this panel, external tools, mark this branch as resolved. Okay. Yeah, if I refresh, we can see that the status of the branch is already marked as resolved, so it's ready to be integrated. There is only one missing step, right?
That's right.
That is just mark the task in Jira as resolved as well.
Yeah, this can be also be done in an automatic way from Plastic, as we did with the attribute, or you can do it by visiting the Jira task page and set the status to done, or the status you used at the TeamCity configuration.
Okay, so now we have already edited the attribute, we have already marked the task in Jira as done, so it's ready to be integrated automatically in TeamCity in the main branch. Okay, so if we go to the TeamCity main panel, it could take just a few seconds to detect the new branch task in Plastic.
Actually, it's already there.
It's already done. You can see here. Yeah.
The task 10, it's having all the tasks completed. Everything is on green, and now we are waiting for the automatic merge to main that I think it already took place, and after the merge is done, TeamCity will also test the new check-in done at the main branch. So if you jump into Plastic, I think the merge is already there.
It should be done.
Yeah. So if you click in the branch and you go to the attributes, I think we are having an issue with the connection, but well, we can refresh it.
Let me refresh the panel, click on the branch.
Yes.
And now we can see the status is marked as merge. So TeamCity has changed the attribute from resolve to merge as soon as the merge is done. Okay.
Yeah. So now if you go back to TeamCity, maybe
as Manu said, there is a new change in the main branch that needs to be built. So it will be just a few seconds for TeamCity to do it. It's already done.
There. Yes.
So, well, I think this is the very basic scenario where we have created a task branch and using the attributes, how TeamCity is able to integrate it into the main branch and run a build. Okay?
That's right. So now maybe we can jump into a more complex scenario where the changes done at the branch and at the child branch are in conflict with more changes already delivered to main.
Yeah,
maybe
let's
we
continue.
can give it a try.
So as Manu said, I'm going to create a new task in Jira to reproduce the more complex scenario. The new task is going to be called, for instance, fix engine. Okay, I'm going to assign it to myself. Assign to me.
Yeah.
Okay, create.
Okay, so it's the task number 11.
Mm-hmm.
Now if you create a new child branch, it will be available. That's the 11 ID. Set it to open.
And click OK.
And now you are working on the child branch.
Yeah.
We have all the information on display there.
As we saw before, exactly the same. Now it's important that I'm going to modify exactly the same file in the same lines to force the conflict. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to open
Sublime
file. I'm going to edit the same line to a different value.
Yeah, so this will end up in a conflict as the two developers on both branches are changing the same line. And but I think I think you created the child branch from the latest. We are not going to have a conflict.
Yeah, to force the conflict, we should
Yes,
create the branch from.
That's right.
From the
so maybe you can go ahead with the check-in if you want, and you can create a new Jira task
to force the conflict.
Because otherwise, as we are working and we are creating the child branch from head, from the latest on main, there will not be any conflicts at all.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we are just making a scenario to force a conflict and show you how it works. So
that's right.
Okay, so now let me create another Jira task.
This is good as well because you will see how TeamCity will completely omit this branch as it is not having the attribute set to resolve.
Yeah.
So go back to Jira, create a new Jira issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and doing the same.
Okay, perfect. Assign it to yourself.
Assign to me. Create. Now go to Plastic again.
Have the task number 12 created.
From the same.
And now we are going to choose the previous change set on main in order to simulate two developers working on the same branch, or maybe a branch that is not starting from latest, or at least from the previous change. So exactly the same.
Yeah, but we are going to modify the same file to force the conflict.
It should have 600 on it, as we are starting from the previous change set.
Yeah, the original value.
Remember that the other developer changed it to 601 or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, let's. Okay, so let's change it to something like 600 and whatever.
Yeah. Save.
And now it is going to be indeed a conflict to be to be resolved. Okay. So
yeah, remember that now we need to edit
the attribute.
The attribute in the branches.
We can directly set it to resolve.
Yeah, we are going to mark. This is the preview.
Yeah, the one we are working at is the task number 12. Let's set the branch as resolved. This will automatically create the attribute for you. So if you click attribute, it should be already at resolve. Perfect.
Yeah. And the last step is to mark the task as resolved.
This depends on your Jira workflow. It might be resolved, it might be done.
Yeah.
It depends on you, okay? You can also configure this at the TeamCity configuration. So, okay,
Yeah, so
now
now,
what's going to happen?
Yeah, the next step, TeamCity will try to run the merge, and there will be a conflict. So after a few seconds,
Actually, the first build will succeed.
Yeah.
That is the one done at the child branch.
yeah,
That one is free of issues. But the next one, it will fail because you need
Yeah,
to manually resolve that
it's
conflict
not possible
for sure.
to be automatically merged. So we need to
Yeah,
to
it's already pending. That one, I think it will succeed. Well, the first one, and as it's going to attempt the two operations at once, obviously there will not be any merge going on, or at least accomplished, because we will have a
Okay.
failure there.
Yeah, now we can see exactly what Manu was explaining. The merge is not possible to be merged because there is a conflict that needs to be solved. Actually, the conflict is in this
In the error message.
JavaScript file, the one we have been modifying in parallel. So the next step should be to rebase to run a merge from main into our task branch, so we can manually fix the conflict and finally integrate the branch.
Of course, you can do some automatic operations in here that will be, for example, notifying that the developer that the branch is not able to be directly merged into main. So you can send an email or a Slack the user alerting of this situation, and he or she will basically need to do this.
Yeah, I'm going to run a merge from main to my task
This
branch.
is what we call a rebase operation.
Yeah.
It's basically getting what you have.
Okay, now we need to solve
Yeah.
this manual conflict. For instance, let me keep base and edit with another value. I'm going to save and exit, and finally I'm going to commit the merge result.
We didn't mention it before, but the attribute, it's no longer set to resolve, it will be set to fail, I think.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yes, Manu
it is
said
fail.
it's fail. So now I'm going to commit the merge result.
And now we need to reset the attribute
Exactly.
to resolve.
Now it's still as fail. We need to mark the task, mark the branch attribute as resolve. So if I refresh here, now it's resolved.
Okay, so now the Jira status is already done, I think.
It's already done because we haven't modified it.
You can also do the following from TeamCity. You can set the Jira status to open again, as the developer has to do some changes on the branch. In this case, we don't have it. It is still on done. So it's a matter of time to have it tested first and finally merge into main. It will take a few seconds for TeamCity to do that.
Yep. At the end of the day, there are two things we need to follow to run this automatic merge. The attribute need to be marked as resolved, and also the Jira task needs to be marked as done. After that, TeamCity will be monitoring the branches to be integrated into main.
That's right. Maybe you can open the branch explorer and show the people how the result change set looks like. So if you click one of those and you go to properties, you can see that the comment is an automatic one that is merge branch and the child branch name, and this is completely automatic. It is done by TeamCity. Oh, look, we already have it merged.
We have already merged, so there are no more manual conflicts. It can be automatically merged by TeamCity. So now if we check
That's right.
in the TeamCity panel, the build is successful, no more conflicts.
And finally, there's one build missing here, that is the main branch build.
Yeah.
So now TeamCity, I think, is testing the main branch as we are having a new change on main.
Yeah,
the latest one.
after running the merge, a new change is created in the main branch, so it needs to be running a build for the main branch.
That's right, yeah. This is 100% automatic. TeamCity is in charge of doing all the merge, all the testing, and all the pooling from Plastic. And of course, you can extend this as much as you want. Look, for example, what you can do is create some notifications in order to notify your team a new release is available, a new change is available on the main branch. The other way around, you can notify that, for example, maybe the main branch is broken for some reason. This is 100% doable, of course. Mm-hmm. So it is done. We have the main branch build completed, and everything is working just fine. So
yeah, we have been reviewing the two main workflows. One, the basic one with no manual conflicts. The second one was an example where there was not an automatic conflict that it was necessary to resolve by the user. And well, I think this is the time for your questions. If you want to review in detail any step, or if you have any other questions related with this workflow, it's time to answer.
Yeah, we will be more than happy to answer you and try to help you to implement this. Okay.
Listo.